Why hello fellow Patriots and welcome to episode 17 on the Patriot Dad channel, where we can discuss current events and modern issues, all while keeping it as real as possible. Today I wanted to talk to you a little more openly and freeform. I wanted to talk to you about divorces, the courts, our expectations, and how I may have changed my mind about deadbeat dads. First, we can get into what are the types of payments that a spouse might be expected to pay to an ex. You have alimony, and if you have children involved, you also have child support. Alimony as a concept is based on if you have a stay-at-home spouse or a spouse that doesn't have a college education, job training, a job history, and they've been a stay-at-home spouse for years and years, they can make an argument that they deserve to be compensated to try and maintain some standard of living close or approximate to the one that they had while they were married. As a concept, I can understand the argument to be made in certain circumstances. What would those circumstances be? Well, if it was not part of a premarital agreement that either spouse might have an open relationship on their end, right? One or both, because there are non-conventional marriages out there now. Thanks to the degradation of our values, marriage no longer means what it used to. So if it was not part of a premarital agreement that one or both of the partners may have an open arrangement on their end, and there is infidelity in the relationship, and the relationship ends, maybe. Whose infidelity was it? Was it the working spouse's infidelity, or was it the stay-at-home spouse's infidelity? If it was the working spouse's infidelity and the stay-at-home spouse can't reconcile and through irreconcilable differences wants to end the relationship and maintain that standard of living, I could see the argument for alimony. The infidelity wasn't on their end. The infidelity was not their direct fault. Sure, the other spouse, the working spouse, broke the agreement, and therefore the non-working spouse will have difficulty maintaining their standard of living. There should be a consequence, right? We should all have to deal with the consequences of our actions. So could I see alimony in that situation? I could see somebody making an argument for it. Sure. Now let's say it's the non-working spouse's infidelity. Does the non-working spouse deserve alimony? I would say no. The non-working spouse committed infidelity knowing the current arrangement. They are not the working one. They are not the breadwinner. They are willing to commit infidelity. Shouldn't a future without the benefit of the other spouse be the consequence? I would say so. Well, okay, so that's alimony. That's one type of payment. Child support is another. Well, right now, the court's preference tends to be, and not in every situation, but tends to be, either full custody to the mother or 50-50. But if the mother is a non-working spouse, how is that support calculated? The support is calculated based on income. So is it really 50-50? No, because any expenses that are incurred for those children are not shared 50-50. Time with the children is 50-50. So let's say one parent, the working parent, is paying to keep the kids in daycare or in school. That money's coming out of their pocket. They also have to maintain rent or a mortgage. They may or may not have car payments. The average American, last time I looked, makes approximately $40,000 a year. So if you have a $1,500 or $1,000 rent or mortgage, that's $12,000 or $18,000. Okay, so let's just say $12,000. $1,000 rent. $12,000 is right out the window. They make $40. Remember that. Then you tack on food, utilities. We'll just say $500 even. So we're up to $1,800 a month. So let's do the math real quick. So at $40,000 a year divided by 12, that means $3,333.33. Repeating, per month in income. So if we're at $1,500, we're already halfway there. So then let's say the court says $1,000 for alimony and $500 for child support. Now we're at $3,000 out of $33. That guy still has to put gas in his car to get to work, has to do maintenance on his car. Any potential credit card debt has to make payments on those. If he has car payments, has to make payments on those. If he has a cell phone, has to make payments on those. And you can see very quickly that the average man will not have enough money at the end of the month. But the court has ordered $1,500 a month. So that is, without question, $1,500 a month. $1,500 for rent and utilities. So that's almost all his money right there. Before anything else, before he buys food, pays for anything else throughout the month. If the court is putting the average person in a situation where they have to start making choices, do they eat? Do they pay their rent? Or do they pay support and alimony? Well, if the person has nowhere to live, and can't eat? How do they go to work? How do they survive? How do they provide for themselves, let alone the support or alimony they're supposed to pay? It's a really good question. It's made me question a lot because the situation that I'm in, and like I said, I won't go into specifics, I am no longer solvent. My monthly bills, along with my alimony and child support, exceed my income. And I make significantly more than the national average. So where I used to think, growing up, anytime you heard a story about a deadbeat dad not wanting to pay child support or alimony, I made a lot of assumptions and I judged prematurely. How many of you know somebody who might be in that situation right now, who's struggling to make ends meet, who can't afford to pay their support and alimony? Is it really in the best interest of the children to bankrupt their father? To make their father choose whether they can afford to be in their life or not? Because the current court system disincentivizes the working spouse from earning more, because if they earn more, they have to pay more. The system also disincentivizes the non-working spouse from getting a job or promoting, because the more money they make, the less support they will get. This system seems to be incentivizing the wrong behavior, just like our welfare system, just like so many of our other systems. So I ask again, is it really in our children's best interest to push the father out of the home, to make the father choose? Because if the father has to choose whether they eat and have a roof over their head, or if they pay their ex, who may or may not have committed infidelity, is that really a good choice? Is that really a fair choice? Is it really fair to judge that person when they choose their own life? What are your thoughts? And how do we get help for these people? How do we change the system to better support keeping both parents involved in their children's life? That's what I want to know. What are your thoughts? What are your recommendations? And if you know somebody going through this, share a link to this video. Have them reach out, because I want to hear from you. I want to hear from those that may be in the similar situation as I am, where the court or their ex is pushing them into a situation where they have to make choices that they don't want to make. I love my children. I will do everything I can to ensure that they are provided for, loved, cared for, and that they have the best opportunity they can. And typically that means having both parents in their life. That's all I can hope for, is that my children have the best chance they can, that they are educated, that they are prepared for the real world, and that they're safe. At least as safe as they can be in today's world. So do me a favor. Let me know what you think. And like I said, share this with somebody who might need to hear it. And think a little bit more about it when you hear about a deadbeat. Are they really a deadbeat by choice? Or were they put in that situation through little fault of their own? You obviously need to make your own judgments, but I know in my current situation, I don't feel like I am choosing to be a deadbeat. I'm doing everything I can to make sure I'm not, to make sure that my kids are provided for and loved. But what can you do other than fight to change the system? Because the system as it exists today is broken. The system is currently dividing families. The system is currently destroying our communities. So we need to work to fix it, to rebuild our communities, because they tried to break them. So how do we rebuild? Get involved locally. Do what you can. Call people, talk to people. And it was recommended to me by our channel friend. Dr. Yuval Bibi, the rogue dermatologist, pointed out that there is, and I will link the video in the description, there is a TEDx talk from a female divorce attorney who I'm going to be reaching out to her team to see if she would like to do an interview. And if she can't do an interview, I would like to find another more local divorce or family law attorney to interview for the channel to see how things are in the legal system when it comes to being a parent that is struggling. So thank you for watching the video this week. If you enjoyed it and you enjoyed this more free-flowing format with less script, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you want to see more videos like it, subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon to be notified when I upload my next video. Following today's topic, we are going to be looking into our history as a nation of meddling in other countries, arming and training them, and then fighting our own equipment and the people that we previously trained. This has not just happened once in our history, and given current events may be happening in the future soon again. This was originally the topic for this week, but current events and my situation pushed it to next week. So I look forward to going over that with you guys next week. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Take care, God bless, and bye for now. Go ahead and check out one of the links on the screen now to either subscribe to the channel and see the rest of the videos of the channel, or one of the carefully selected videos that you may wish to see that YouTube has used its algorithm to select for you.